Hey, listen, I got to tell you guys a story. It's zippy. On the 9th of October, and this is a little bit of a saucy story, so, you know, well, anyway, I'll just tell you, but be warned, it's a saucy story. Anyway, there was, on the 9th of October, I went in for my pre-op consultation with the surgeon. And, you know, and they tell you how to take care of things and what to expect. And anyway, there was 5 people who were having surgery, and I fell in the middle of the pack. There were 2 people that did not weigh as much as I did, and there were 2 people who weighed much more than I did. And there was this guy. And I swear if he weighed 1 ounce, he weighed 500 pounds. He had this big old stomach, and it sat on his knees. I mean, it sat on his knees, you know. And I know I weigh 300 pounds, or at least I did, you know. And so I know he must have weighed 500. And so we, Donnie, my husband, and I were sitting there. And we had first met with the dietitian, and then we met with the physical therapist. And the physical therapist is telling us things that we need to do, exercises that we can do that would not hurt us, that would also help us get rid of the gas from surgery. Not the regular gas that you have, the surgery gas, you know. And anyway, and so there was this man, this 500-pound man, you know, and his wife was with him, and she probably weighed about 225. And I'm just guessing, but about 225. And Donnie and I looked at him, and I said to Donnie, my God, he must be in so much pain, at least in his back, from carrying that big stomach around with him, because I know it must be throwing his alignment and his spine out, you know, and I know he must have terrible back pain. And Donnie's going to, you know, Donnie says, yeah, he's going to feel fabulous after the surgery. And I said, good for him, you know, he's getting that surgery, he's getting something done. So happy for him, you know, and I genuinely was happy for him. And so anyway, we're talking to the physical therapist, and he raises his hand, and he said, I hate to bring this up, but what about sex? And Donnie and I looked at each other, and we started laughing. I'm not out loud, but I wanted to, you know. And I started laughing. I'm like, what about sex? I said, how is that big man having sex? His penis must be this long to get past that big old belly, you know? And we're laughing, because I know what Donnie's and my challenges are with my weight, and he's a little heavy too, you know. And I know some of the things that we're having to do to kind of accommodate our weight. What in the world was his guy doing? And you know, if he's asking about sex, you know, he must have this long. And Donnie, I'm sorry, I hurt so bad. Donnie and I are looking at each other all through the rest of the messages, going this long, you know. And I'm laughing. And the physical therapist, God love her, she never missed a beat, you know. She says, hey, 2 weeks you can start having sex. And I thought, well, first of all, that ain't happening. We'll have to think of other things, because I'm not, you know, no, no. That's way too much weight. Me on top and him on bottom, I don't care. It's just too much, you know. And so, ow. Oh, my stitches hurt. Oh! So anyway, oh, ouch. So So anyway, so the physical therapist says, hey, listen. Hang on. Oh. The physical therapist says, hey, listen. Do me a favor. The bariatric coordinator from the hospital is the next person to speak. And so when she comes in, I want you to ask her. You know. And so he did. He popped up and he said, what about sex? And the bariatric nurse, the bariatric coordinator, she didn't miss a beat either, you know. And, you know, when she walked in, she said, she looked at the physical therapist and she goes, oh, you're going to stay for my message? How sweet of you. I'm so honored you're going to stay. And the physical therapist is like, yeah, I want to hear what you have to say. Anyway, so he says to the bariatric coordinator, what about sex? And she never missed a beat either, you know. And I turned to the bariatric coordinator and said, excuse me. I said, listen, the physical therapist told him to ask you that. She didn't care anything about your message. She just wanted to see how uncomfortable you would get. And the bariatric coordinator is like, well, she doesn't know who she's dealing with, you know. What's funny is what we found out later is the 500-pound man was not having the surgery. His smaller 225-pound wife was having the surgery. He wasn't having the surgery at all. And I swear that's all Donnie and I could talk about the entire day. How he had sent his wife to have this surgery. And what's funny is, I could just hear this conversation, you know. Hey, honey, you know, sex isn't as good as it used to be. Must be all that weight you've gained. You need to do something about this. Because I've got a penis that's that big. You know, and sure enough, poor darling, she went down to have surgery. I'm thinking, okay, he's going to find out soon enough what really needed to happen now. So anyway, I wanted to tell you guys that story because it was so flippin' funny. Oh, I'm hurting. I need to go take some Lortab. Oh, anyway, that's what happened. It was hilarious. Too farkin' funny. Oh, goodness. We'll see you guys later. Ouch.